Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Cuban Assassin Podcast. I'm your host, Richie A. Savito, also known as the Cuban Assassin. Last time on the Cuban Assassin Podcast, I was talking about when I was being part of APW, Appalachia Pro Wrestling. And then I got an opportunity to be able to go join Stampede Wrestling up in Canada. But before I talk about going up to Stampede Wrestling, I want to talk about a little side note about when Dad and I had left Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling and went to Can-Am Wrestling Federation over in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. When I came over to Can-Am Wrestling Federation, this is where I met my stepmother, Pat, the mother of my stepbrother, Sean, and the mother of my half-sister, Angie. And I also would end up meeting my half-sister, Angie, and Dad and I were tag teaming together in Can-Am Wrestling Federation. But also, I met my stepbrother, Sean, and I want to tell you the story. Sean met us at the airport, at Calgary International Airport, and he came up to me and gave me a hug, and he said this to my ear. He goes, "I missed you, old man." And then he stepped back, and he saw Dad standing beside me, and he looked at me, then he looked at Dad, and he looked back at me, and he said, "Richie?" And I said, "Yep, that's right, Sean, it's me." And then Dad looked at Sean and he says, "Don't even recognize your own dad." I just thought I want to put that in the side note because I would get a lot of that along my professional wrestling career. And how I would end up going to Stampede Wrestling is I was trying to get a hold of Dad, and I only had a number for Ross Hart, so I called Ross and then to see if he'd give me Dad's new number, and then Ross said he would like to have me come up and be part of Stampede Wrestling. So I looked at my wife and I said, "He's offered me a deal to go to Stampede Wrestling." Well, she told me to take it. So I went ahead and told Ross that I will go ahead and take it. So now I'm a part of Stampede Wrestling. And I fly up to Stampede Wrestling. Actually, I took a bus and Ross picked me up at the bus station. Then now I'm doing Cuban Assassin #2 on the house shows, but on TV I had 2 TV appearances as Satanicus, and Satanicus was the Red Devil, but Bruce Hart didn't like the name, so he changed it to Satanicus, and that's how it stayed for the rest of my career. But let's take a look at a match as me, Satanicus, on Stampede Wrestling.
We begin the proceedings this week with Tag Team Warfare Masked Mayhem, comprised of the Black Ninja and a newcomer to Stampede Wrestling, Satanicus, teaming up to do battle against Brett Holiday and Irish Red or Rudin. Holiday, of course, bad news, one half of the Platinum Clans. His partner, Ty Cobb IV, on the shelf with a separated shoulder.
Well, he's a second-generation wrestler also. His father, Jonathan, used to wrestle here for Stampede, too. But I noticed one thing, that the Black Ninja went out and got somebody who's uglier than him. I can't believe this.
Arm over by Holiday. Ninja responds with a poke to the eye.
And he's over there also yelling at your fiance. Why is you? I'd go over there, tell him something.
Holiday's head is smashed into the boot of Satanicus. Tag is made, and now Satanicus is in the ring. Laying in those chops on Brett Holiday. That's one way to give him a, well, not exactly a tan, maybe a sunburn with those marks.
That'll cave in the young man's chest.
Diabolical suplex by Satanicus.
That'll cave in his back, too.
While he's had to mask his identity, Satanicus has not masked his wrestling ability. He has proven to be quite a mat technician.
Well, you could
very
tell
accomplished wrestler.
Well, like I said, this is my first time seeing him, but you could tell the man's been around a while. He knows what he's doing in there.
Rear chin lock, and now the fans rally behind Holiday, back up to a vertical base. A series of elbows into the midsection. Ducks the clothesline, misses with a back elbow, does Satanicus, but then a well-placed knee into the bread basket, and that sends Holiday crashing to the mat.
There goes his Burger King sandwich for lunch.
No tag was made. You heard the sound effect. That was like a badly shot Japanese movie. Stiff European uppercut by Ninja. Flattens Holiday.
Hey, if the referee didn't see it, it's too bad. That's too bad on him.
And give the Devils their due. They're starting to mesh as a team.
Yes.
The Ninja and the Satanicus spinning heel kick finds its mark, and Holiday now seeing stars, and not the stars he's accustomed to seeing in Hollywood, California.
Well, you know, this Satanicus now, this is the first time you've seen him, right?
Yes, it is.
Well, maybe the Ninjas wrestled with him before as his partner, so he probably brought him in as a man he can trust.
Well, I was told that this was the first time that they were forming a unit.
Oh, where did you get that
from?
from?
It's a cohesive unit, and they definitely have the upper hand against the team of Holiday and O'Riordan. I have my sources, Bad News.
Well, the way I see
cost me a few bucks, but I have my sources.
The way I see these guys gelling together, your sources, I think they ripped you off.
Now, let's face it, Bad News. Everyone in TV land knows that you and I agree with each other about as often as Haley's Comet comes around, so let's just leave it at that.
You better believe it.
Swinging neckbreaker there by Satanicus. Really asserting himself well here in his debut on Stampede Wrestling. Cover, and Holiday's able to kick out at 2. Senior official J. Edgar Hooper with the count. And now asking for the break. Now you see the rocking horse.
See, this
Satanicus on Holiday's throat. O'Riordan will have none of that. You say it's a smart move only because the referee, J. Edgar Hooper's attention is diverted by O'Riordan.
That's the idea there. We didn't want him to see him. Smart move.
And by the way, inquiring minds want to know, what the hell is it, Hooker or Hooper?
I have no idea.
You're the principal shareholder. Why don't you get on top of that?
Okay. I found out that he's related to JR who used to be the head of the FBI, and he also has the same fetishes. He likes to dress in those kutu.
Suplex by the Ninja. Sorry to interrupt, but we had a pretty predicament, Bad News. Let's leave it at this, Bad News. Hooker, Hooper, whatever his name is, he has more personalities than Roseanne.
Well, you asked me, and I tried to explain it to you, and then you cut me off.
Sends him for the ride. Ninja misses with the clothesline. Holiday comes up with a hooking lariat on the zone.
He's still feeling the effects of that big slam he just got a few seconds ago. Smart move.
Satanicus in with the forearm to the small of Holiday's back. And now the Ninja, seeing the window of opportunity open just a crack, quick to capitalize. Now puts him into no man's land, makes a tag, and they'll try to cut out the ring and keep Holiday in enemy territory for as long as they can.
See, that's the way you have to do it in the tag match. You keep your opponent in the corner there.
Right hand to the top of the head, and Satanicus feeling the effects of that. He really laid in the lumber. A great way to kick off this week's show, tag team action, tailor-made to your satisfaction. Again, both these teams, and what they're showing us today, Bad News, maybe one of these tandems will be in line for a shot at the International Tag Team title holders. Pollock and Devine, small package, almost a pinfall. Satanicus quick to respond with a clothesline.
Well, you know, anything's possible in this day and age, especially in Stampede Wrestling. WOW, you got some tough competitors coming through here. They call me up every day. They talk to Mrs. B on the phone. They all want to come in here and get contracts.
Irish whip by Satanicus. Sunset flip. Will he be able to fully execute it? Satanicus trying all he can now into a combo. Penny predicament gets a 2.
Now, if he was smart, he would have went over and tagged his partner. Uh-oh, now his partner's coming in. Oh, smart move. Smart move, very good.
No tag, but smart move on Satanicus' part. I'll grant you that, Bad News, and that he was able to rile up O'Riordan and distract him and get the referee to kick O'Riordan into his corner.
I am totally shocked. There's 2 things you agree with me tonight. Boy, this is going to be one hell of a night.
Maybe that bleach is really going to my head.
You better believe it. The films have got to.
Suplex, side press, hooks away, gets a 2. Again, wrestling fans, you can follow your favorite Stampede Wrestling wrestler or where we're going to be. And, of course, you can check out the outstanding new line of starter WOW Stampede Wrestling athletic wear by logging on right now to Stampede Wrestling at www.stampedewrestling.com. Starter athletic wear, the #1 name in athletic apparel.
Do you see all those starter jackets I have? Hats, T-shirts.
Hey, what do you have? What about the new dress shirt that I was able to finagle out of you this week?
Yeah. How much you paid for it, too? Hey?
I'm waiting.
That's coming out of your check. You got that right.
Irish whip by Satanicus. Telegraphs a back body drop. Now Holiday looking for a backslide. He gets it to the feet. 2. Only a 2 count.
That's it. Stay on it.
Holidays with the element of surprise on Satanicus and almost put him away with a backslide.
Well, I tell you, you can tell that this Holiday is a bit of a rookie because he's been taking quite a beating in here, and he hasn't once tried to tag his partner.
Ducks the clothesline, and both of them with the same train of thought. Unfortunately, that train was derailed in the center of the ring. And it's going to be interesting to see as both these competitors look spent who is going to be able to get back up to a vertical base and make that critical tag.
Well, I tell you, Satanicus, he's taking lesson for beating. Now he's finally getting over there, Holiday to tag his partner.
Both of them struggling to their respective corners. Both make the tag, and in come O'Riordan and the Ninja. The freshmen are in the ring, and O'Riordan quickly tattooing Ninja with those right hands. Full scoop of the slam, and one for good measure on Satanicus.
What a drop kick.
And a couple of drop kicks. And Irish Red O'Riordan with that fiery Irish.
He's got that mean temper. That's what
there you go with that lariat.
Look at this here. I don't know what he wants to do with him.
Northern Light suplex by O'Riordan. Doesn't go for the cover, however.
Should have covered him.
Wants to mete out a little more punishment. And now it looks like he's going to ascend the turnbuckles. Irish Red with the Black Ninja in a supine position in the middle of the ring.
Well, take forever already.
Frog splash finds the lily pad.
Nice move.
Lateral press and Satanicus in to break up that pinning predicament.
Hey, I hate to be a stooge, but your fiance has moved closer, and now she's winking at me.
Shoulder tackle by O'Riordan. You notice I'm just ignoring you now, right? A couple of shoulder tackles. Comes off the ropes again. Wait a minute, Satanicus was there to hit O'Riordan. Backbreaker by Ninja. Now Satanicus is going up to the second turnbuckle. Drops a guillotine elbow. Covered by Ninja. Where the hell is referee Hooper?
Right there.
Back press hooks the leg. It's over.
Beautiful move.
By hook or by crook, the team of the Black Ninja and Satanicus pick up the Duke this week on Stampede Wrestling.
Now, like I said, while I was touring with Stampede Wrestling, I was with Dad's the Cuban Assassins on all the house shows, but the only 2 TV appearances I'd had was under the hood or a mask as Satanicus. And then there would be a chance and opportunity where I was spending a lot of time with Dad and, doing a lot of things, but then there'd be an opportunity to come up where I get to actually wrestle Dad under the mask as Satanicus on TV. Let's take a look at that match right now.
An assassin squaring off against the relative newcomer in the maniacal, the diabolical Satanicus.
Well, I've seen this Satanicus over the last few weeks wrestle, and you can tell this man has been around a while. Of course, the old troll, he's been around a while. That guy gets ugly every time I see him.
Satanicus unloading with those right boots in the corner on the Cuban Assassin, and now just choking him right in front of referee J. Edgar Hooper. The Cuban Assassin is sent for the ride into the corner, and Satanicus follows that up with a corner clothesline, rattling the veteran. There's a one to jack the jaw of the Cuban Assassin, and you know what, Bad News Allen, the Cuban Assassin in recent weeks has been mentioning the fact that he may once again reform the Cuban Assassin tag team. Speculation has it that his son may be coming to Stampede Wrestling very soon, although I've heard his son right now is floating on a raft somewhere between Cuba and Florida. It's going to be interesting to see if Fidel Castro gives him clearance to come to WOW.
Well, I tell you one thing. I know this Cuban Assassin, this little troll, for a long time. He got thrown out of Cuba by Castro personally, and I'm sure they're going to kick his son out also to bring that fool into Castro.
The first incarnation of the Cuban Assassins in Stampede Wrestling was in 1975 to 77 when the Cuban Assassin teamed up with Francisco Cibi. Another Cuban Assassins tag team showed up in 1979 when this Cuban Assassin formed a tandem with Juan Kruger, and time will only tell if the Cuban Assassin will form another team with his son. Right now, though, he's trying to stave off Satanicus. There's a reverse knife edge chop in the corner, and now it's the Assassin unloading with a right hand and another right.
Well, I tell you one thing. I feel sorry for his son because he's going to have to do all the work because they're going to need an old wheelchair next to the ring for this idiot.
Double armbar with the rear chin lock now by the Cuban Assassin. He knows every trick in the book, Bad News.
Well, I'll agree with you there. Even though I don't like the guy, he does know every trick in the book. It's not below him to break the rules.
Now a chicken wing submission as Satanicus trying to escape by pulling the hair. Now the Cuban Assassin measuring him up, and there's a well-placed knee between the shoulder blades.
I'll tell you a couple of more of those, and Satanicus is going to need the chiropractor in the back that we keep back there in case the guys need him.
Just kicking things off this week on Stampede Wrestling, and right off the bat, The Cuban assassin with that short arm clothesline on Satanicus. I want to take a quick moment, Bad News, and say hello to our friends at Cable Regina, Cable Estevan, and Cable Weyburn. Believe it or not, and it is true, Stampede Wrestling, the #1 rated show on Cable Regina and growing in popularity all the time. So we want to say hello to the fine folks watching Stampede Wrestling on those great stations as Satanicus turns the tide on the Cuban assassin.
Wait a minute. Why are you so shocked that we're the #1 show?
I'm not shocked.
First of all, since I came to this organization and I brought Mrs. D in here with me...
believe it or not because I didn't think you'd believe it. I'm not shocked.
I don't have to not believe it. I believe it because I know that I got the contacts, I got the money, and I'll bring the talent in that the people want to see.
The way you deride the Hart family, the way you throw your weight around here, Bad News, you just better be ready to have it thrown around by somebody else, if you know what I mean.
No way, shape, or form. As long as I'm in charge, ain't nobody going to put their hands on me because Mrs. D watches out for me. She watches my back.
Satanicus, with those rights really having little effect on the Cuban assassin. He is jacked about being back in Stampede Wrestling. And there's a shot, a jab right to the throat of Satanicus. And now he's up along the ropes. The Cuban assassin sends him for the ride. Big back body drop.
I want to know what's with this referee. He stood there, right there, and looked at him, saw him give him a chop. Satanicus a chop to the throat and didn't say anything.
Lariat coming off the ropes by the assassin. Goes for the cover, and Satanicus kicks out at 2. Speaking of Regina, I also want to say hello to the good folks at the Regina Travel Lodge East, the home of Stampede Wrestling stars in Saskatchewan. So we'll be coming back to Saskatchewan very, very soon. Always a pleasure to be in the great province of Saskatchewan as the Cuban assassin fires Satanicus into the corner. There's a kick into the breadbasket.
Well, all I got to say is you can thank Mrs. B for getting that hotel. Beautiful hotel that it is. She made all the arrangements and she took care of everything.
Reversal by Satanicus. Unfortunately, nobody was home, and he rams his shoulder into the post. There's the Cuban assassin. Ace crusher. Goes for the cover. Hooks the inside leg. It's over. The Cuban assassin squashing Satanicus this week on Stampede.
Now, I would have to leave Stampede Wrestling early to come back home because I had sent the first paycheck to my bank and they had a policy for international checks to hold for 30 days, so it caused me to get behind and I had to come back home to take care of my family and my bills. This left my dad alone wrestling up in Canada for Stampede Wrestling. My dad would wrestle for both Can-Am Wrestling and for Stampede Wrestling, but my dad would eventually retire in 2003 from in-ring competition. My dad would have his last televised pro wrestling match on Stampede Wrestling. Let's take a look at my dad's last match on TV right now.
The bell has sounded, and wrestling fans, this should be a classic confrontation between Tiger Khan and one half of the International Tag Team Champions, Greg the Pistol Pollock. Titan firing Silverstein in the corner. Follows that up with a corner clothesline, Razor Rick Titan. Back on the scene here in Stampede Wrestling, making the tag to the veteran, the grizzled veteran Cuban assassin.
Now look at this troll here. What was that troll's name? Rumpelstiltskin? Well, let me tell you something. Now, this man was thrown out of Cuba by Fidel Castro personally because look at him. He don't want to train. All he wants to do is drink and pull his leg off people.
High vertical suplex executed by the Cuban. Goes for the cover on Silverstein. Six-man tag team title. Not a tag team title because there are no six-man tag teams. But I'll tell you this, Ben Hughes. You said at the outset of the program, before going on the air, in fact, that the triumvirate of Titan Ninja the Assassin are on the bubble in WWE.
Well, let me tell you something. I'm sick of looking at them. If one of them loses tonight, they're going to be fired right on the spot. Matter of fact, not on the spot. I'm going to go back there and personally give them their pink slip and kick them out of here. Now, because I want winners in here. I don't want no losers.
Knowing you like I do, I bet you didn't even tell them that.
They'll learn it when I get back there to the back of the locker room.
So, Titan Ninja and Assassin careers in WOW on the line. I don't think they're even cognizant of the fact, but they definitely are feeling the heat, whether they know it or not. And now the double team by the Ninja and the Assassin on Ralph Ruffy Silverstein.
Well, let me tell you something. As long as my name is on their paycheck, I can hire, I can fire anybody I want. And I decided tonight, like you said before we went on the air, that if one of these three idiots loses, they're going to be fired, and that's all there is to it. So they'll learn firsthand tonight when I come back there and hand them the pink slip.
You know, being under the weather, bad news, really sucks. I'm discombobulated. I can't even speak.
Well, you never could speak. Last week you saw those Sharkettes, and next thing I look, you're double talking, triple talking. Nobody knew what the heck you were saying. You're calling people by their wrong names and everything. If they come out here tonight, I'm sure it's going to happen again.
Hey, bad news. I'm only human.
Oh,
born to make mistakes.
Don't give up your
going
day
to
job.
work
That's all
out
I have to say.
Silverstein.
Don't give up your day job.
Now put Silverstein in the corner. Titan now with a shot to the gut. Another one. Continues to pepper Silverstein with those right hands, and Silverstein feeling the full effect of this Razor Rick Titan onslaught. Talk about a big peel out of the corner.
Hey, I wonder if that Titan got over where Mrs. B hit him upside the head with that case.
Black Ninja in with a kick to the ribs.
He's got over that headache.
Stiff European uppercut. Make it another one.
Well, this roughy's starting to take a beating here.
Silverstein is set for the ride.
But see, now, the honor roll, I don't have to tell them. They know exactly what the rules are. They know what happens if they lose. They know exactly what's going to happen. So it goes for these guys over here. If they lose, they're going to find out what's going to happen tonight.
Tag is made to the British Commonwealth mid-heavyweight champion. Principal Richard Pound with a right hand to the mush of the Black Ninja. Rams his head into the top turnbuckle.
That's it, Principal. Put a good old-fashioned Harlem butt kicking on this idiot.
Of course, the fans here at the Ogden Legion Hall sitting in anticipation for one of the biggest signings in WOW history, the suicidal, homicidal, genocidal Sabu of ECW fame will be here this week to do battle with hotshot Johnny Devine. That is going to be one to bring the house down, bad news.
You know what really makes me mad, though, is when I pulled up here tonight and got out my car, I had one of your girlfriends come up, and she saw Sabu come in. I brought him in, and she ran over and tried to give me a kiss with those big ugly lips of hers. She better put some Listerine before she tries to kiss me.
Now it's William Butler Yates.
The Big Belly Sharecroppers are trying to thank me.
Working over the Black Ninja right to the side of the head. Like I say, finally you deliver the goods.
What do you mean, finally?
You deliver the goods instead of selling us a bill of goods.
What do you mean, finally?
Oh, and a hooking
When did I
clothesline. That
ever
was a
tell you
Black
I was
Ninja.
going to bring somebody in here and I didn't bring them? Name one time. Yeah, you can. That's right. You're speechless. You should be speechless.
What do you mean? You promised.
You lucky.
You
I
promised
you
to bring in
tonight.
Pamela Anderson Lee. You promised to bring in Tony Braxton.
Well, wait a minute. My cousin said that she wasn't coming here because the last time you was with me and what you pulled, there was no way in shape she's getting in the same building with you. And I brought in you four. I brought in you four, Pamela Lee.
I knew you could. Oh, there's a beautiful
Don't give up your day
sit-out
job.
Falcon arrow being applied by Silverstein. Hey, I have a frog in my throat and a song in my heart, bad news. Tag is made once again, and in comes.
That's it.
I think it's that medication Mama Ranallo gave me. I really do.
Yes, he's got you going, huh? Watch this move. Look at this. Watch
Takes
this.
down the second rope. Backbreaker
Watch
there
this
applied
big-
by Pound.
look at that big-
Oh, the big guillotine elbow almost takes the head of the Ninja
That's
off. We almost saw a beheading.
See, let me tell you something.
King Henry VIII would have been proud of that one.
Oh, for sure. The Principal Pound here, he's got his troop working as a fine-tuned Swiss clock.
Yates, leaping leg drop across the chest. Goes for the cocky cover, and the Ninja able to escape that pinning predicament.
Can you imagine a 230-pounder hitting the ropes coming off and that high in the air? I like to see you on the bottom of that.
I bet you would.
That's right. Especially when Marcus Shark gets a hold of it.
Nice backbreaker there by William Butler Yates. And right now, Yates.
They'll put the boots on. Who is this referee?
And there's Yates pounding in the Black Ninja's fence post.
There he goes. He'll be in the whirlpool this week. He'll be the first one in there.
Double team now, Silverstein and Yates. There's a double vertical suplex taking over the Black Ninja. And the honor roll, a cohesive unit to kick things off this week on Stampede Wrestling. And for Ninja, Titan, and the Assassin, one of their careers could end right here, right now.
That's right. They're going to get kicked out of Stampede Wrestling. And when you get fired from Stampede Wrestling, there's nowhere else you can go. Because if you can't make it here, you can't make it nowhere.
Really? They don't even have a shot at WCW?
No way, shape, or form.
Gut wrench suplex by The principal, Richard Pound, float over cover, and it's broken up by the Cuban assassin.
What do you think? They send me a check, Atlanta and Stanford, every week not to come down and get their guys. Because if I ask one of their guys to come work for me, they'll drop their shows and they'll come right up.
There's an old school move being applied by the principal, who espouses the old school tactics. The abdominal stretch added leverage now by Thomas E. Wolf on the outside.
Old troll, throw him out the ring. What the heck is he doing?
I have to admit, Cuban Assassin is so old, they didn't have history class when he was in school.
Imagine that. Fidel Castro personally threw this guy out the country. You know, I was in the Pan Am Games, and I was in the Olympics, and some of the greatest athletes who were in tremendous shape were from Cuba.
And yada, yada, yada. Black Ninja now with an arm
I'm just
rigger.
giving you a history lesson.
You've been giving me a lot of history lessons.
Well, you need to. You need to know this, and these beer belly sharecroppers need to know this.
Black Ninja now with a tag to Big Razor Rick Titan. A man, again, who shared the same philosophy with Scott Hall while in the WWF. And also, bad news, a man who had success. Look at this textbook spinning vertical suplex. The blood rushing to the head of William Butler Yates. I was alluding to the fact that Titan also was a big-time success in Japan.
Well, of course he was. Like
Big Titan.
I don't know if you know this, but he was my kohai. Now, if you want to know what that is, that's Japanese for junior. He was my junior. When I started in the business and they finally brought him in, he had to clean my clothes and carry my bag and fix my food. He was one of my kohai. But he tried to get smart with me, and Ms. B put him in his place.
Yates now sent for the ride by the Black Ninja. Back body drop executed by the Ninja as he tries to regain momentum here for his team.
I tell you, the Black Ninja, he's a master of these martial arts here. He's not beyond him to pull some dirty tricks also.
Northern Light suplex, side press, hooks the outside leg, only a 2.
Good kick out. See that, Yates? All those push-ups that I have him doing, it pays off.
Spinning heel kick catches Yates flush in the face, and the assistant headmaster of the honor roll has Excedrin headache, number 999.
That's it.
Now Yates up along the ropes once again. This time turning the tables on the Ninja. Oh, and a well-placed knee right into the gut.
Now, see,
that'll knock the wind out of the sails and bottom out his boat, bad news.
There goes his Chinese food for the day. But let me tell you something now. If Yates was smart, he'd go over there because the Black Ninja's belt fell off. Take that belt, take it around him, and hang it with it.
Front chancery now. Looks like he's setting him up for. Here it is.
See, Davey Boy stole this move from Yates.
Right. High vertical suplex.
Yeah, right.
Davey Boy Smith, former WWF Intercontinental Champion, Stampede Wrestling legend, one of the biggest wrestlers ever to come out of the UK. He stole this from William Butler Yates.
Of course, and he was here for years, and he saw Butler Yates doing this, and he stole it.
He stole it from a guy who's not even a household name in his own household. Give me a break, bad news.
I'm going to tell him you said that, boy. He's going to love it.
Front chancery being applied now by Principal Richard Pound, and it looks like it's Suplex City in this matchup as he delivers a suplex, goes for the cover, and we had a very close call there as the principal almost put away the Black Ninja, who has been the sacrificial lamb for his team so far. As the honor roll doing a good job of cutting off the ring and keeping the Ninja at bay.
That's the way you got to do it. You got to keep him over in your corner, punish him, tag off, get a fresh man in, put some more punishment on him. Don't let him get to his corner.
Yates now.
Watch this big move. Look at this.
Probably executed move there by, and I'll give the devil his due, bad news. That was a well executed.
Look at this old fossil. Old troll needs to stay out there. He didn't make no tag. Rumpelstiltskin, that was the old troll's name, right?
Yeah. Front face lock. Man, that was a scintillating move there by William Butler Yates. I'm still in awe.
Look at this.
That brave.
Look at this.
And now the tag was made, but of course...
There was no tag. What are you talking about?
Referee Richard Dixon doesn't see it, and Dick Dixon now looking like he's in over his head as the principal fires Black Ninja into the corner. And that'll scramble his eggs.
I'm telling you, he'll be the first one tonight after this match is over with to be in the world.
Now on the menu, the Black Ninja omelet. He gets crotch on the top rope, belly to back suplex, covered by the principal.
There you go. Oh, Eddie, there you go.
Over. And for the Black Ninja, it's time to say, see ya to Stampede Wrestling. As you knew the stipulations going in, although I doubt very much a thing, you have bad news, Alan, decreed that the loser, if one of those three wrestlers was to lose the pinfall, they would be kicked out of WWE.
Well, Mrs. B is on the way. She's going to go back there. She's going to give him a pink slip, give him his check, and he's out of here. We don't tolerate no losers. The honor roll knows what the rules are if they lose. These guys got to learn.
And then all of a sudden I was back in APW, Appalachia Pro Wrestling. Next time on the Cuban Assassin Podcast, I'll be talking about being back at APW, Appalachia Pro Wrestling, and also being a part of NCW, Nationwide Championship Wrestling. The Cuban Assassin Podcast is produced, written, edited, and directed by me, Richie Acevedo at Mountain Man Productions. Special thanks goes to Ben Hilton for the opening and closing demographics on today's podcast. Special thanks goes to the Hart Brothers University for the videos of the matches used on today's podcast. And special thanks also goes to my sister Angie and my stepbrother Sean for the photographs used on today's podcast. You can reach me at mountainmanproductions@outlook.com. That's capital N for Mountain, capital N for Man, and capital P for Productions at outlook.com. Or you can simply leave a comment. If you like the Cuban Assassin Podcast, please like and share. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this edition of the Cuban Assassin Podcast, and I look forward to seeing you next time right here on the Cuban Assassin Podcast.